Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm returning to Strategic Command, World War II, War in Europe, or I think that's the name, the name of the game I've got in front of me. I kind of forget. This is part 4, I want to say, of my Let's Play looking at Strategic Command. This is a live stream right now, although I will chop it up into pieces and post it on my YouTube channel, as I have been doing for a while now lately. Now, in the first 3 parts of our series, we were able to conquer Poland. We renegotiated some of our borders with the USSR to gain more of eastern Poland than we otherwise had, and we've shifted our forces west. So you can see here we've got kind of a skeleton force garrisoning Poland. We've got one headquarters army as well as several garrison corps, if you will, the 1st Frontier Corps, the 4th Corps, the 21st Corps, basically smaller units here in the east, garrisoning our Conquest. While we've shifted the majority of our forces west to guard against any potential French assaults into Germany. So you can see here we've got quite a strong force of infantry along the border with France. We've also got a strong air frontier along the border with France. And we've even extended that border north toward the Netherlands and Belgium, with the understanding that eventually we'll probably attack through the Ardennes forest and sweep around the French forces, cutting off the Allied expeditionary forces with the British toward the Normandy coast. That's at least the plan, is to kind of follow the historical German invasion route of France. Now, with all of that being said, apparently I have 2 paratrooper units here. I've also shifted some armored units here north to Denmark. I know some of you have suggested, well, why did you waste, 90 MPs by shifting them to France and then shifting them north to Denmark? My intent is to conquer Denmark here very shortly, although someone posted in the chat there may be a trigger to allow you to conquer Denmark automatically. If that's the case, I may be about to make a mistake. But my intent in this video, at the very least, is to conquer Denmark, and then that will set us up for an eventual invasion of Norway if we have to. Now, I'd rather not invade any of the Scandinavian countries if we don't have to, but one thing that's been frustrating me is the British have been raiding my supplies with Norway, so we depend heavily on Norwegian exports of iron ore, at least historically Germany did, for their economic vitality. They also depended on relations with Sweden. However, the convoy routes with Sweden are a little bit more sheltered, the same as any routes with Finland, but because they're in the Baltic Sea. The problem with Norway is its convoy routes are rather exposed here from northern Norway all the way down the Norwegian coast, all within relatively easy striking distance of the British. Now, in our last video, we fought a major sea action in the North Sea, damaging some British vessels. We sank one British destroyer group, and we damaged some Polish destroyers up here. We did lose, was it one destroyer flotilla, I think, was destroyed, which was unfortunate. We also saw some damage to one of our submarine units, but we were able to rebuild our fleet at somewhat of an expense and salvage most of it. Unfortunately, again, we got off about what we gave in terms of destroyer losses. Additionally, we've got one heavy cruiser that's badly damaged. Deutschland, the Deutschland is retreating toward Germany. We've turned it off convoy radar to try and stealthily get it back into the North Sea. I may have to sally my fleet forth once more to try and get it back safely. It's badly damaged. And then we've got multiple submarines here along British supply routes. 3 convoys, to be specific. The Canadian convoy out here with U-32. And then we've got, I think this is the Middle Eastern convoy. And then the British Empire convoy, both also with enemy, or with Allied presence on these. Now, U-30 will have to withdraw shortly. It's down to 3 supply, so I'm not sure if it can even still continue to raid convoys. We'll see next turn, but I believe you take 1 supply per turn that you're raiding convoys. So we have almost our maximum number of vessels at sea raiding British convoys. Only one of our submarines is retreating back to friendly ports to recuperate from losses suffered in the North Sea engagements. In this video, again, as I've said, I'm going to try and conquer Denmark. I'm not sure if that is an event-triggered event or item, so I may be making a stupid decision to attack Denmark on my own, but that's probably what I'll do, using these 2 armored units and these 2 paratrooper units, the first full whatever and the 7th. So that's where we're at. If I yawn a little bit, guys, I'm sorry. It's around midnight here myself, and I don't know, I feel like I have a tendency to do that in some of my videos. I try and cut it out, but sometimes it sneaks in nonetheless. With all that being said, we are pretty much through our turn. We've already, in our last video, kind of covered this entire February turn. So we're going to go ahead and jump forward 1 more turn and see what happens. The British celebrate the capture of the Altmark and Norwegian waters. I'm not sure what that Altmark in Norwegian waters. I'm assuming that's a German merchant ship or something. Allied raiders disrupt Norway. Research breakthrough. Italy develops logistics level 1. Good. Germany's economy continues to chug along. Italy as well, a weaker economy. It looks like we may be through the tough winter months, though, now that we're into the end of February. And actually, turns seem to be variable, because before they were 1-week-long turns, and now we're into March of 1940, straight from February 10th. Polish First Corps formed in England, so basically the Free Polish Forces. And we're into the spring of 1940. That's kind of annoying that it jumps like that. I wonder if they slow things down once you get into the invasion of Russia, though. Just because, you know, jumping month-long turns in that game seems a little bit unrealistic. Not sure what the British Navy is doing off the coast of Italy, but Italy thus far is neutral, so hopefully they don't attack our Navy. 11? Wow. USSR annexes territory from Finland following the end of the Winter War. Axis raiders disrupt Canada, British Empire, and Iraq convoys. 27 communist deputies are given prison sentences for disaffection in France. Paul Renaud becomes prime minister as Finland's defeat triggers the fall of Dalador. Okay, so more events that I don't really have a good insight into. Okay, summary there. It looks like the British lost 39 industrial points from our convoy raider. Okay, so a decision. Our iron ore imports from Norway could be threatened by the British, who may make a move to invade Norway and cut off our convoys. It is therefore strongly recommended that we move quickly to occupy the country, so that we have devised a plan to move units secretly to land in Norway. These forces should be sufficient to deal with any Norwegian resistance, and possibly also to repel any Allied counter-moves. Preparations will cost 180 MPPs at 90 MPPs a turn for 2 turns, and the invasion will take place on the 9th of April 1940. Would you like to authorize the invasion of Norway? If we go to notes, yes, Germany will invade Norway on 9th April 1940. A half-strength corps will land at Oslo, and Strength 3 garrison units will occupy Narvik, Trondheim, and Bergen, Stavanger, and Kristiansand. Again, I'm not even going to try. I'm butchering all the pronunciations here. At Oslo, we'll meet some resistance, as Norwegian shore batteries will inflict 1 to 4 points of damage on our forces as they land. On the diplomatic front, the USA will swing 3 to 5% toward the Allies in response to our invasion. If an Anglo-French expedition was sent to Finland, then it is possible that these forces will be used in an attempt to retake Narvik, in which case it would be wise to reinforce the German garrison there as soon as possible. So it seems like an event that gets triggered where I can just kind of choose how I want to deal with it. I think I'm going to go ahead with it because it seems to get me into Norway easily. Now would be a good time for us to move into Denmark to secure our northern flank and food imports that we receive from this country. It would also have a maximum effect if we occupy the country at the same time as we land on Norway, as this would provide us with a much more secure route to Norway. It is therefore planned to launch our invasion in early April 1940. We're confident of only facing minimal resistance from the Danish army. In order to minimize disruption, we intend to leave the Danish government and king in place. As a result, our move into Denmark will cost us only 50 MPPs. Would you like to authorize the preparations for the occupation of Denmark to commence? So apparently it is an event. The British will automatically occupy the Faroe Islands in response, and they will probably send an expedition to occupy Iceland in May of 1940. If the British do not occupy Iceland, then we could use Reykjavik as a naval base, though we were to send any Axis ground or air units there to protect the bases, then the U.S. mobilization would increase. If you say no, then you have to invade Denmark yourself in order to gain control of the country, and the Allies will still be likely to occupy Iceland in response. Strongly recommend saying yes. Okay. So I guess the invasions of Norway and Denmark are both simulated, and those decisions were made in March of 1940, but now you can already see we're into March 23rd of 1940, so another month has passed. I don't quite like the way the turns are handled here. It's a little bit frustrating. So we've got some new units we've got to go ahead and place. Our dive bombers, some new tanks are completed as well. We'll put those over here. So I guess if we're going to get Denmark by default, moving these tanks was even a bigger waste of money. That's great. Move these subs back home, and why can't we move them anywhere? Huh. That's annoying. So apparently I've got to move them this way. I'll go ahead and finish reinforcing these guys. So our destroyer flotilla is reinforced. We're going to go ahead and move some battleships over here, I think. Let's see. I don't know what I want to do with my navy, but I need to get something over there to help protect the Deutschland heavy cruiser that's coming home. We'll swing north. Okay. So our submarines are still at sea. These guys are getting low on supply for sure. Only 2 left. I'm going to shift him west. Move these guys onto the British Empire convoy route. Oh no, enemy contact! Damn. Enemy cruiser just damaged our sub there. Can we change his status to hide? No, it doesn't look like it, so that guy's going to get attacked next turn. Let's upgrade these guys. Advanced aircraft is going to cost us some money, but we need to make sure our Air Force is modernized as much as possible. You can see they changed from looking like BF-109s to what looks like a FW-190. At least the graphic change there. Do I want to change them to naval weaponry? I guess I can. Probably should focus a little bit more on research as well. As we spend, like, all of our money. Let's see here. Okay, so we just spent a bunch of our money. We need to do some reinforcements here. Let's see. Well, actually, the reinforcements on the German frontier are fine. The Italian frontier, we're going to go ahead and land these troops. Okay, those are all ready. Alright, so I think the Italian forces are pretty much ready. We should reinforce these guys in Albania. Reinforce up to level 8. We do have a little bit of money left, so we can kind of continue maximizing our fleet. As you can see, the Italian fleet is not fully prepared for war, although it's getting there. We've reinforced that heavy cruiser to full strength. We should be able to get this heavy cruiser up to full strength next turn. Maybe get this battleship up to full strength. We're still at least a turn or two away from the invasion of France. I'm going to leave these guys up here with Germany. I'm not going to spend this money because I don't know exactly how the what the costs are going to be to invade Norway. I guess I just committed to some financial commitments, and I'm not sure if I'm still going to be able to meet those. So I guess we'll see. But, yeah, let's go ahead and move forward one more turn. I do need to start purchasing new units, too. Okay, research breakthrough. Germany develops rocket weapons. And you can see here invading Norway and Danish occupation take a chunk of our money away. So it's factored into your income, which is nice. That simplifies budget keeping. Gonna need to pull... Just waiting to see if the British attack our subs here with destroyers. And they do. That sub... That sub fared pretty well. Assuming there aren't more Royal Navy assets about to hit us. Took out 2 Canadian destroyer hit points, but no loss of its own. And then withstood an attack by British cruisers. These things are really... I mean, it's... If that's really an 11... Maybe it's a 1-in-1, like anti-sub, anti-air, I'm not sure. But the number next to the hit points is kind of the technological capabilities of the unit versus sort of the baseline. Okay. So I'm hoping it's back to a 1-turn. Axis raiders disrupt British Empire convoys. April of 1940. I really hope it's just the first week of April. So British lose another 29 to subs. So we're into mid-April. I think the attack on Norway begins next turn. Okay, I guess I have to place these guys. That's kind of annoying. I'm going to place them here. Sure. Okay. So, let's see here. I didn't upgrade these guys, so I should do that. Okay. Just reinforcing everything to max strength. Simple enough. Losing a little bit of experience in doing so, but it's necessary. Do any of these guys need to upgrade? I wonder if there's an easier way to check if units need to upgrade. Mobility. I'm making... Oh, I don't have the money to make them mechanized. So I can't make all my troops mobilized. Or have good mobility, but I can... That's about all our money. So... Reinforce these guys. So actually, Italy's money is all going into reinforcing this army unit. And it's got 13 left. What's that? Is that enough for anything? A little bit of work on our navy. Okay, so that pretty much handles that turn. I think the invasion of Norway will happen next turn. Same as the invasion of France. So we'll go ahead and let that take place. The one thing I'm worried about is my cruiser's going to be right in the vicinity of Norway if the British decide to intervene. Which could kind of suck. We'll have to send our navy up there next turn, so I'm going to kind of gather my forces here on the coast of Denmark. Well within air support range if necessary. And these guys will be ready to dash north if necessary. I'll actually go here. Can get us much further north if we have to. Hopefully they can meet in the middle. And I think that about does it for this turn. So we're kind of flying through 1940. I don't know if I should be shifting any of my air units north. I'm hoping the resolution of Norway is kind of automatic, but I guess we'll see if the British intervene. German forces move into Denmark. Germany invades Norway. USA protests against Germany's aggression. Okay, so we secure all those necessary ports or what have you. Demonstrations against Denmark's annexation caused disruption in Reykjavik. Norwegian batteries in Oslofjord inflict casualties on the German invasion force, just as it says it would. Allied raiders disrupt German-Norwegian convoys. Quisling proclaims himself Prime Minister of Norway. Another research breakthrough on both of our allies' fronts. And I guess we'll see if the Allies respond to our invasion of Norway. Okay. Oh, shit. I forgot to do anything about the submarines. Oh, good lord. Okay, so the British Navy basically just harassed that sub within an inch of its life. It looks like it pulled out successfully thanks to a dive. I don't know what... I think a dive probably means it's no longer on raider status or something like that. This sub is no longer on raider status. I believe U-30 is out of supplies, so we're going to have to pull it back. You can definitely see... Oh. Oh, nice. 3 hits on a British light cruiser. That's nice. You can definitely see the importance of France in this game on the convoy routes. Oh my god. Can they attack twice? Doesn't look like it. You can definitely see the importance of conquering France from the German perspective to effectively raid Allied convoys because of just the proximity of needing to swing all the way around the British, the British Isles to get to your target. Because I'm assuming moving through the channel would be kind of suicide. Okay, so Finland has a pro-Axis leaning, so she will automatically join our side when we declare war on the USSR. Okay, alternatively, were the USSR to mobilize and declare war on us first, then we would need to advance to within either 4 hexes of Leningrad or 1 hex of Pskov, Ostrov or Polotsk to trigger a pro-Axis Finland to enter the war on our side. Recommendation, keep an eye on the enemy's diplomatic ventures, because if they swing Finland into having a pro-Allied leaning, she will remain neutral when we're at war with the USSR. Okay. So we've got a new sub. We've got to go ahead and deploy here, and we will. That guy's there. We'll go ahead and reinforce this sub here. And hopefully get this... There's a British destroyer in our way. Or there was. Oh no! Shit! My battleship was almost sunk there, or my cruiser was almost sunk there by a British sub. Probably taking too heavy of losses to justify attacking this thing. But we've almost destroyed it. Almost. And there you have it. Norway is ours. Can we reinforce these guys? Up to 5 strength? Yeah, we can do that. Reinforce up here. And up here. So hopefully the British don't intervene in Poland. I don't know what the trigger for that is. You can see here we lost quite a few troops in Oslo, but reinforcing them to full strength. And there you have it. We sacrificed a bit of the German Navy's power to try and protect our battleship. I think we'll move some Stukas. Well, moving the Stuka might be a bad idea on the eve of the invasion of France. Now, I do need to operate these guys back. So wasting a lot of money moving back to the French border. Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Alright. We'll kind of set up an armored fist here. This tank will move here. And let's see. Now, I don't know if I really see a need to invade Denmark, in all honesty. I guess we'll see. Yeah. Prepping for the invasion of... Can I operate these guys? France. I don't know if we need to garrison Copenhagen or not. We probably should, right? So why don't we go ahead and purchase a garrison unit? Oh, wait, I don't have enough money. Darn it. Alright. Meanwhile... Okay, getting Italy ready for war still. So, the Navy is almost to full strength. We've got all but 1 cruiser and 1 battleship and 1 sub, although we can make the sub ready now. So all but 1 cruiser and 1 battleship are up to full strength. And let's get this guy back in port. So I think Italy is going to be ready to attack France very shortly. I may need to take some fan advice on what to do with the invasion of France. We're going to go ahead and wait 1 more turn until we're kind of ready to move. And I'm just going to go ahead and end this turn now that I've kind of moved everything I need to move. The only thing I need really to do at this point is get our subs the hell out of there. Kind of tempted to attack these destroyers. These guys' supply is too low, so I'm going to pull them out. These guys have no supplies, so I'm going to pull these guys out. I need to change their raider status. So we're pretty much retreating on the submarine front. Although we've got a new sub and a reinforced sub, so we can send these guys out momentarily. The British convoys are going to be unharassed for 1 more turn. And I think next turn is probably the invasion of France. That's my assumption. It seems like turns are moving at 2-week increments now instead of 1-week increments, which I would much prefer a 1-week incremental design. A consistent turn practice seems more interesting to me, but I guess it is what it is. And we've now advanced to the border. We'll see if, now that we've advanced to the French border along the whole front, if the French will launch any attacks against us or not. I'm not going to launch any attacks with my air units, because that'll just weaken them if next turn is indeed the invasion of France. If we go to the diplomatic front, we can see here that Finland is 20% on our side. Hungary is 80%. The U.S. has swung back to 20% allies. The USSR still only 6% allies. Meanwhile, Italy's up to 77%, so I don't know if they automatically swing fully our way or not. I don't know if it matters, because, again, Italy is, I guess we don't have a diplomacy option for Italy, so, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, with all that being said, let's go ahead and end this turn and see where we stand next turn and maybe ready for an invasion of France. British national morale is boosted by having Winston Churchill as Prime Minister, so apparently Norway triggered Churchill coming into office. Now that Norway's surrendered, we need to reconsider the current convoy route from Narvik. The route from Narvik is very susceptible to attack from Allied aircraft and shipping. It could also be threatened by enemy forces were they to land at Narvik. One solution would have all of our iron ore come directly from Sweden, with only a reduced convoy sailing from in southern Norway. If we do say yes, then our potential income will be less, as no convoy can sail from Sweden in the winter. But what we do receive from Scandinavia will be safer from attack. Would you like to amend the Norway convoy route, or take the risk of our convoys from Narvik being able to reach Germany intact? Should Narvik fall at any time to the Allies, then the Norwegian convoy will automatically sail to sailing from Christenheim, even if you don't transfer via this decision. So if the Allies do attack Narvik, then it happens anyway. Overall, this is only of economic benefit if the Allies are capable of causing significant disruption to the Norwegian convoys. Bear in mind when deciding that our ability to do so will likely increase, their ability to do so will likely increase as the war progresses. I actually think I'm going to say no. Just based on, I don't know, based on that. So the UK is taking Iceland, that's no surprise. Our income goes up as we've cleared the convoy routes from Norway. And Italy is still kind of chugging along there. So yeah, I think next turn will be the invasion of France. Looks like we're probably about to have a big battle in Norway. Naval battle. I'm guessing. The British will send their fleet out. Some British destroyers. And British air power, great. Yikes. No! We just lost a battleship and lost national morale. Damn it. That sucks. Man, that makes me upset. I think I lost a battleship to save a cruiser. Might have lost a second battleship. British Royal Marines occupy Iceland. Okay. Iceland joins the Allies. Okay. Sir Oswald Mosley is interned as the Emergency Powers Act comes into effect. Okay. Oh, so it was a cruiser. All right. Anyway, so it's the end of May, so we're a turn behind on our invasion of France. All right, folks, that's going to about do it for this video of Strategic Command World War II, War in Europe. As you can tell here, we are on the verge of invading France. I kind of got a little bit turned about with the turn length. I was thinking they were 1 week turns, and it turns out, they're about double that, even during the summer months. So kind of led me to bumble the stream a bit. The stream actually went on for a bit further. I may end up publishing just the stream on its own, but it really ended up being a disaster with me failing to take France by the end of August, although France was certainly on its deathbed, and having the Italian fleet more or less completely destroyed at the hands of the French fleet in the Mediterranean, while only doing minor damage to the French, and also considering the fact that the French fleet was about to be completely destroyed, not destroyed, but France was about to lose the war, so all those casualties were in vain, as the Italian fleet as a fleet in being was gone, and the ability to support operations in North Africa would be severely limited, given that you'd still have the whole British Navy to deal with. But anyway, guys, that's a topic for another time. I'll keep the video somewhere. I don't know what I'll do with it. I may just publish the stream itself. But for this video, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. This is part 4 of my Strategic Command Let's Play series, and in part 5, we will see the invasion of France, either offline or maybe a redone stream. Hope you guys all enjoyed, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.